are back with the Bakersfield Underground, the Bug, and we're joined today by our broski David over here with the official San Joaquin page, you know what I mean, on YouTube and on Instagram, man. Welcome to the show, broski. Hell yeah, man. David, can you let us know where we can find you on social media? That's your camera right there.
All right, so I pretty much started on YouTube. I have over 600,000 subscribers. I call them supporters on YouTube. And I kind of started branching off to Instagram, Facebook, and stuff like that. And I also do have a website. The website is recordthepolice.tv. Yeah, man, I'm spread out on it on social media. And, I started in 2017, about 9 years ago. And I just kind of started recording police, man, and it just kind of took off.
That's okay. So before we get to that, The channel is called San Joaquin Valley Transparency on YouTube. Go ahead and check it out, man. I'm pretty sure all these videos that you have up there, one way, shape, or form, this has probably happened to you. Maybe twice. Shit, it's happened to me before. You know what I mean? So this is very important for us to get into. And on where can we find you on Instagram?
On Instagram, it's official_San_Joaquin, official San Joaquin with the underscore in between.
There you go. Okay, so this is videos, like police videos. These are police officers who are not, you know what I mean, following the law. They're kind of doing their own thing. Either they're not knowledgeable in it, or it's just like, hey man, fuck it, I'm the law over here and I'm gonna do what I need to do type shit, right?
Right.
So every video that you post is different, right? But let's start from the beginning, okay? How do you get this idea to put out videos like this, right?
Right, good question. So I just start kind of, just like everybody else, just scrolling through YouTube and stuff like that. And I ended up coming across a page called Joe Citizen Ho. And this guy was recording police in Baltimore. He would see one of them drop a cigarette on the ground, and he actually made him pick it up. He's like, do you live here? The cop's like, no. He's like, how would you like if I went to your neighborhood and started littering, throwing cigarettes on the ground? And the cop was like, he really didn't say anything, but you could just tell on the look on his face that he was dumbfounded by somebody actually telling him that. And Joe Citizen Ho actually made him pick up a cigarette butt because he didn't even know which one was his anymore.
Man, okay.
And when he seen that, I was blown away, and I said, holy shit, you can do that? You can talk to cops like that?
Is this the gentleman that you say that you posted several of this gentleman's videos, right? He's the one that just says how it is pretty much.
I haven't posted Joe Citizen Ho in a long time. I don't think I've actually ever posted him on Instagram. I do post a lot of other people's work as well as my work. One of the things that I started doing on YouTube is not just recording police, but also highlighting other channels, inspiring people to pick up a camera, record, teaching them their rights so that, that they can start holding their own public officials accountable.
There you go.
I wanted to inspire them just like the way I was inspired.
There you go.
And since then, we kind of blew up a massive movement. I'm pretty much considered one of the very First Amendment auditors. I can't lie, I did kind of start off like an asshole with the camera. But then I started seeing myself like that on YouTube, and I'm like, man, I'm not naturally an asshole. Like, I think I want to change my approach, so.
All right. Which is very interesting. Yeah, because once again, right now we live in an age where there's phones with cameras everywhere. So everybody's a journalist now. Everybody, you know what I mean?
That's right.
And let's be honest, some of these videos don't go out in a place where they can teach you something. They go to some sites where it's just, hey, look what I found, over here type shit. Right. But you're not learning anything from it. It's just people I don't know if you want to call it being nosy, I don't know. But we live in a world where there's cameras everywhere. Right. Now, I was having this conversation with Cadillac earlier. I said, how would you feel if you're going through a situation with a cop and you have, all the neighbors come out and everybody's recording, right? So I had that conversation with him, right? And me personally, I'll be like, man, it would fucking bother me. You know what I mean? Because it's personal. Do you want your business out there like that? But at the same time, if something does go down, you have your proof right there. Shit, man, look what happened to Rodney King back in the day, right? So I can see both sides of it.
Right.
But if you're holding a camera now, right? If you have your phone and you're recording a situation like that, like you said, you're going to talk to the officer. You don't want to try to be that asshole as well.
Right.
Because you can escalate the situation. First of all, it has nothing to do with you, but you're just just in case if something happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like you said, so what made you feel? Was it what you were telling them that made you feel like, hey man, maybe I'm escalating this thing when I shouldn't?
Yeah, there was a particular video where I just kind of came up with my middle finger up, just kind of cussing them out. And later on, I watched it. I was like, damn, man, that's embarrassing.
It looks bad, huh?
Yeah, I was embarrassed of my own, video and stuff.
It's happened to me before. Yeah, I've done stupid shit like that too.
Yeah, and so I decided to just start asking questions and, kind of reel them in, bring them in and kind of, open up conversation. And by doing so, I think I found a pattern. And I wasn't just recording cops here in Bakersfield. I would go like to other towns up and down Northern California, stuff like that. And I found a pattern, by asking them questions that they weren't really trained properly in the academies.
Yeah, I see that on your videos too, that they just have no idea. You ask them, hey, do you even know your First Amendment right? And some of them don't even, they just kind of blow you off pretty much, right? Whoever the cameraman is, know, which is fucking crazy, right? Now, I understand that laws changed every time, a lot, right? And a lot of these people, maybe, I don't know if they freshen up on that shit, but you're out there on the street performing this job. You should know your stuff. Yeah. And I'm going to get into some of the videos, where I was like, wow, I can't believe this is actually happening. You know what I mean? Right. Now, usually... We always say it. This happens to the black people. It happens to brown people. But we have Caucasians in here where it's happening to them too now at this point. Right. It's like we're all in the same fucking page now, right?
Yes.
So going out there and shooting video now, right? It takes balls, man, to go out there and just, hey, man, because a lot of us don't even know what we're doing. We're just there. And again, you could escalate a situation, but you figured out, hey, man, this ain't working out. So you started asking questions now.
Right. And I started asking the First Amendment. You mentioned that laws change. Laws do change, but the Constitution stays the same.
That's a good point, yeah.
The Constitution was not written to give us our rights. We were born with natural rights. So I tell everybody, go home, hug your parents, tell them thank you because you gave me these natural rights.
Damn.
And, some people like to call them natural born rights or whatever. Or these human rights. But then you tend to think, well, where's this coalition of humans? Where can I sign up? No, when you think of it as natural rights, you're naturally born with these rights.
Exactly.
And, the Constitution was written to limit the scope of authority that government and the cops have over we the people.
Yeah.
That means that without us knowing this and without the cops knowing that, this as well, it puts us all in a bad position, the cops and the people.
Yeah.
And so it makes it dangerous. Lines will be crossed.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of times people will fight tooth and nail for those rights.
Yep.
And, the First Amendment. Let me ask you guys, right? This is important. Do you guys know the 5 freedoms of the First Amendment?
No, I started seeing it because of your video.
Right.
And I was like, oh, shit, this is things that we need to know.
Right.
Okay, can you tell us what it is?
So these things are extremely important. Like, in reality, especially in this country, instead of talking politics, we should be talking about our rights.
Man, I like what you said right there.
What I'm saying?
Yeah.
Without even, how are you going to really know what's going on in politics without you even really knowing what these natural rights are?
You're right about that, yeah.
In the First Amendment, we have the freedom of speech, freedom of press, freedom of religion, freedom of assembly, and freedom to petition your government for redress of grievances. So freedom of speech, we can say what we want, right? I like to do my work in the form of a question, especially when I'm doing like a news story or something like that.
Okay.
You really can't get sued or arrested for asking questions. Think about that.
That is true, folks. Yeah. For anybody who's doing videos out there, they'll flag your shit.
Yeah, shout out to Susan Bassey for teaching me that one day.
Hey, big shout out for real.
So freedom of speech. Be careful with cancellation because people can't get canceled.
It's happened to us already. So yeah,
but that's not against the law. Speech, press, right? Like we have the right to press. Anybody with a phone can be pressed. You don't need credentials. You don't need a press pass. And freedom of religion. You don't need a press pass like you don't need a religion pass to go to church, right?
Yeah.
Speech, press, religion, assembly. When you go to school, they have an assembly. You go to the assembly, people gather. Same thing as a church, backyard barbecues. Same thing we're doing right here.
Yeah. This will be considered that
right?
too, yeah.
And when we assemble and we realize something is wrong in government, we have the right to redress the government we have the right to redress the government, petition the government for redress of grievances. And what that means is we have the right to come and bellyache. We have the right to flip them off or cuss them out or do all of these things. In reality, they're supposed to be professional at all times and be courteous. And even if we do flip them off, and like I said, I don't really like to do it like I used to, but if we do come like that, they're supposed to respect our right to do so. So, and make complaints and file, grievances with the government. So these are things that we need to know. Like the Fourth Amendment, we have the right to be secure in our papers, persons, effects, and our homes. Fifth Amendment, the right to, like the Pop Brothers at Law say, which are my attorneys, hashtag STFU, shut the fuck up. Don't talk to police. Ask for a lawyer.
Yeah.
Things like that. Shout out Pop Brothers at Law.
Big shout out.
And, a lot of these things are our rights. The Ninth Amendment. We have rights that are not enumerated in the first 8, which means that what's not forbidden is allowed. Just because it's not stipulated that these are our rights, that doesn't mean we don't have them. What's not forbidden is allowed. Same thing like parental rights with our kids. All of that kind of stuff falls under the Ninth Amendment. So these are things that not everybody seems to know, and people think, oh, well, that shit's too difficult. Nah, man. Freedom should be the topic on every dinner table in America every single night.
You're right.
We need to be talking to our kids, our parents, our grandparents.
Yep.
They're not teaching this in the churches. They're not really teaching this in the schools. They're not hammering this in. Mm-hmm. And we shouldn't be sending our kids to Starbucks, the movies, football games, all these places without them knowing these rights. Especially, I hate to say this, but especially if you're black, brown, you live in hoods, whatever, cops will mess with you. And so we have this word that people consider bootlickers, the blue line supporters, back the blue no matter what. But cops mess up. They do bad things. But sometimes they turn a blind eye and don't look at that type of stuff. Yeah. Why? I can explain that. We have nice neighborhoods, right? If you have an undesirable in that neighborhood, sometimes cops will force ID. Sometimes cops will, cross, violate the Fourth Amendment, get their identification, search their belongings, things like that, to get them out of the neighborhood, right? They got to get rid of the undesirables. And you think the people that back the blue that live in these neighborhoods, you think they're going to care? No, they want to get that guy out of there.
Exactly.
Right? And I know it sucks, and I know that there's a lot more homeless people. Look, when we bought our house, as soon as we moved in, a week later, our car was stolen. Wow. And there started to be more homeless people in the area and stuff like that. It is what it is, but these are things that a lot of people don't see, and it's kind of hard to, a lot of people think you have to be one way or the other. You know what I mean? And I really don't think it's like that. I really think it's truly important. Hey, if you're gonna support police, definitely hold them accountable too.
Yes.
I don't believe that there's anything more patriotic in this country than to know your rights and hold government accountable.
Bam, there you go.
These are the most important things that I believe that we need to truly understand as we move forward. And because, we get a lot of comments sometimes in our work and our videos, and the people that are watching say some things sometimes that are like profound. It makes you think.
Yeah.
And I just say that it's, I can't express enough, how important it is for us to know our rights and just encourage everybody, both sides of the political spectrum, left, right, black, white, red, blue, gay, straight, man, woman, young, old.
Man, we're all humans at the end.
And it's like, once you learn your own rights, then you begin to respect other people's rights.
Bam, there you go.
When you don't like somebody or somebody bothers you or, it's an eyesore or whatever, in your opinion, but as long as they're not taking from you, as long as they're not creating a victim out of you, then you pretty much have no choice but to leave them alone or respect. Respect what if it's a guy riding a fucking tricycle wearing a pink tutu. If he's not he's not committing any crimes, leave the guy alone.
You know what I mean? But unfortunately, a lot of us don't learn until it happens to you.
Right.
Eventually, it's gonna fucking happen to you, right? So let's talk about the amendments, right? What's a good website or a place where we can learn about all of this? Because I feel like there's not a lot of people plugging that. Is there a website? Is there a page or something like that where we can look this up and make it easy for everybody to read up on it and understand it? You know what I mean?
Well, it's I don't know if you guys know this, but the Bill of Rights is the first 10 amendments.
Okay, the Bill of Rights.
That came about first.
Yeah.
Right? The founding fathers kind of knew how important it was to know these things. That way, if there's a tyrannical government, the people know what to do, things like that. And then the amendments came. That's why they're called the amendments, because they amended certain things.
All right.
And so there's 27 amendments in the Constitution. So it's the Bill of Rights, the amendments, the Constitution. Start with the Bill of Rights, the first 10. On Google, on
Google that shit. Yeah.
Right. And you can easily buy like the little booklets, and I have several at home. I should have brought you guys one.
Oh yeah. That would have been dope.
You know, but it's so easy. You just open up your phone and bam, there it is.
Because these are things that we live every day.
Right.
And you said you've gone to different towns too, right? Different cities. And do you see the same thing happening?
Nationwide.
It's just fucking everywhere, huh?
Nationwide.
And I feel like it's getting worse every year now.
Right.
And before, can you imagine how it was in the early 90s, even the 80s or even the 70s, when there was no body camera, there was no car cameras, there was no cell phones. People would just get away. We got to see something with the Rodney King situation, right? But before that, all the stuff that happened with that we don't even know about, right?
Right.
And these are people that didn't know their amendment rights or anything.
It's amazing, and I'm glad you mentioned Rodney King, because during the Rodney King incident, we learned that the people have the First Amendment right to record.
Wow, it took that long.
Right? And so people thought, and then they tried to actually take his footage.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Nah, man, they protected that shit.
It was so new during that time.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there was incidents before that, but just didn't get that type of attention.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Soon after that, we started seeing people driving through like border patrol checkpoints. Those types of videos started coming out.
Oh,
and
okay.
you started to see the white guys getting mad, saying, what did I stumble into Russia? Is this China? Am I driving through Mexico? I thought this was America. Shit. And so that woke up a lot of people, and they're like, holy shit.
And what a place to hit, too, where you get everybody, every mixture, every race right there, that one spot. Yeah.
It's all good when Border Patrol stops the Mexican, right? But when they start stopping the white man, we got a problem, huh?
Now we have a problem now. That's true, man.
And so shortly after that, we started seeing cop blocking.
What is that?
It's same thing. People going out with cameras recording police. But then that didn't really take off. And I think the wording, cop blocking, it was not really what everybody was trying to do, because you're not really trying to block a cop. Not everybody was. So then it became cop watching, right?
Okay, and that I'm more familiar with. Okay.
That still exists today. Everybody's cop watching, right? Yeah. Not everybody, but everybody should.
Yeah, they should.
And so that didn't really take off either. What really took off was a term that was coined by Carlos Miller from Photography is Not a News, Pinnock News, years ago. And then later on, Jeff Gray, Honor Your Oath, shout out to both of those guys. Jeff Gray started saying it. Carlos Miller kind of stopped doing this, and I think he just became like a writer for a pretty big news source in New York.
Okay.
And so a term came out, First Amendment auditing. I was one of the very first ones, and I'm actually from the area, from Bakersfield. Like I said, I started seeing those videos, and I'm like, I want to get involved in this.
Okay.
I was like, my boys are gonna grow up in this in this area.
Yeah,
I don't want my kids getting shot because they got a phone in their hand or something.
Man, I like that you're saying that right there. Yeah.
And so I did see a news segment that said Bakersfield, California was per capita the worst for police justified killings.
That's what I heard.
And I was like, damn.
And we live here.
So and so they're getting away with it, like damn, right? And so I was like, well, I'm gonna stay anonymous as long as possible, and I'm just gonna go out and record them, and I'm gonna, hopefully they would think that somebody's recording them even if I'm not there. And I thought to myself, like, maybe it's my wishful thinking. I was thinking, like, man, maybe in the years to come, we'll see the numbers drop of them killing people and getting away with it.
Yeah.
I think the numbers have dropped a little bit, but I don't.
Which is good. It's
Which is
something,
good,
right?
right.
Yeah, it's a movement right there. Yeah.
Right. And so, yeah, man, it just First Amendment auditing just took off. That term, it just made a lot of people want to get involved. You know, from sea to shining sea, everywhere in between. And now we have auditors in the UK, Canada, Australia.
Oh man, that's cool.
I have people that support my channel from all over the world now. The United States, I've had
Hell yeah.
people, Fran Wrights Crispy from Florida, pay for me to go spend his birthday with them and stand where they signed the Constitution.
Oh man, that's dope right there.
It was a good feeling, man. Like I was all like,
that is dope.
Doing my best not to cry in front of the fellas, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It felt good.
Yeah, well, look where your hard work
Right.
took you. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, who would have ever thought that? You
Right.
know, that's dope.
Man, since my work, I've been invited to meet like Snoop Dogg's friend Louis the 13th. He created his own weed strain. Shout out to Louis.
Yeah, big shout out.
His music dude made us a couple songs. Like they connected
That's
me
dope.
with the Cannabis Talk 101 iHeartRadio show. Those guys put me and my sons on stage with like
Hell
Snoop
yeah.
Dogg, Too Short, Exhibit. We got to hang out with Exhibit.
Oh
at-
hell,
at
the whole West
hotel.
Coast, man.
Yeah, right. Ludacris as well.
Oh,
Even
shit.
Mobb Deep, and just like I got to drink a beer with Mobb Deep in the hotel
Hell yeah.
in the hotel lobby, and just like different shit, right?
That's
like,
cool.
And because of the work, man, since then I've spoken like at a university, Stanislaus
That's
University.
fucking awesome right there.
Right.
Man.
And so like just before I didn't believe that I was well spoken. You know, I drop a lot of F-bombs and you know and stuff like that. My mom used to always say, don't swear so
Yeah,
much.
no,
you know,
mijo, no hables
yeah,
así.
exactly. But I've tried to improve, you know, and
Yeah.
try to get my message across.
Yeah, yeah.
And
That's good practice, though. You got to get out there and actually do it. You know, so
Right.
because like you said, the first videos, you were cursing. You were kind of like, you know,
Yeah.
you started getting better. But hey,
Right.
man, that's how it is. And I think that's very important too, because you're not just staying anonymous out there putting videos out. You're actually stepping up, putting your face out there, which is
Right.
not an easy thing to do.
Right, right.
And you're going up there on stage and you're just spreading your message, which is the right thing to do, for real.
Right. Well, I you know, unfortunately, people that I trusted doxed me to all the police agencies, and so all the cops already knew who I was. So I was like, "Oh, I hide who I am." You know, if they already know who I
Yeah,
am, then
right.
so be it. You know, I got nothing to hide. Plus, if I show fear, just like a dog, they're gonna attack you.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
When you don't
Yeah.
show fear,
Yeah.
they tend to kind of leave you alone.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how it's been. You know, a lot of cops when I first started were threatening to arrest me, you know, this and that. I have been arrested a couple times, beat those charges. And
They just want to put you through that fucking headache, is
right,
what it
yeah,
is, right?
yeah.
Because I've seen some of the videos, like they know who you are.
Right,
You
right.
see, you can see it on the
Right,
camera, right?
yeah, yeah.
And you're being as polite as you can, right?
Right,
You want to be
right.
professional, obviously, and not start any shit with anybody.
Right.
But sometimes the way that they want to stop you is to put you through all of that,
Right, right.
Because it is a headache, man, going
Yeah.
to court and all this shit. But hey, you got to do it, especially in your line of work.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
this has happened several times.
right. And just so you guys know, if you ever decide to record police, there is an adrenaline rush. You know, and still I've been doing this 9 years, and
Yeah.
I still get an adrenaline rush every time.
Yeah.
But you know, that's why I also come with a mild mannered approach. You know, it's like, hey, how you doing, man? And since then, a lot of cops, even cops that I bumped heads with before, they like, hey, David, what's up, man? How you been? And yada yada, whoop de whoop. You know, we actually have good conversations, and a lot of them appreciate what I do. There's been maybe 2 or 3 cops in Bakersfield, you know, in the 9 years that I've been doing this, actually know the 5 fundamental freedoms of the First Amendment.
Just that.
And they even admit that they learned it from me.
Yes, I did see that video.
What that tells us is that
Shit, man.
our academy is failing our police officers.
Yeah.
They're putting the people in dangerous positions. They're putting the police officers in dangerous positions by not making sure that they know this. And I don't believe that we need to pull out our pockets and throw more money at training. We need to make sure that they actually know some of these things before they even get hired. It's like,
Damn.
imagine hiring a lifeguard who doesn't know how to swim.
Exactly.
Imagine hiring a mechanic who doesn't know how to change a starter.
Yep.
That's what we're doing with the cops that are out there.
And you have a video, right? It was that here in Kern County where the training and one of them came in drunk or something like that.
Oh yeah.
It's fucking crazy, man.
Yeah,
that's the people that they're hiring and shit. So you make a very good, valid point right there.
Right. I mean, we're teaching cops brute force and compliance. We're training them very well in the short period of time that, a lot of comments that we get is, hairdressers, have to take longer training than police officers.
Isn't that fucking crazy,
right?
though?
Yeah.
Damn.
But I get it. Nuts, it's hard to get cops right now. People don't really want to be cops. They have to keep throwing money at them, throwing bonuses at them, and then just keep coddling them with things like qualified immunity, internal investigations. We investigated ourselves and found no wrongdoing. You actually have to know what policy the cop violated if you're going to put in a complaint, or else if you don't word it correctly, they're just going to toss it.
Oh yeah.
And and there's laws that, like an act that came out, SB 1421, where we're supposed to be able to get records when cops violate people's rights and do things like that from internal affairs. And from my understanding, Kern County is suing to stop those records from coming out.
Really?
Yeah. And
why am I not surprised?
Right.
Yeah, especially here.
So why cover up these certain records? And we're supposed to continue to back the blue, and we're supposed to continue to support this. Like, why? I understand, I don't know if you guys know this, but there is a policy that cops are not supposed to tarnish the reputation of the department. So in other words, the departments are trying to do their best to keep this pristine image of them doing no wrong. And like officer, I think his last name was Luna or Lugo or something like that, who was caught with CP on their computer and stuff like that, or trying to hook up with minors and things like that.
Yeah, that's a case that's going on, right?
Right. Yeah. And it's crazy. These are things that we need to know. When somebody does get busted like that, they say, well, he acted outside of the department, Come
on, man. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we can't act like the department is not, covering some of these things up, or
they're notorious for that shit.
Right. We need to hold them accountable. I don't know if you guys seen the work that I did in Arvin, California.
What happened to it? I've seen a lot of your videos, but what happened?
You know where Arvin is, right?
Yeah. Right around.
It's not far from here. So people started reaching out to me, and they said, you need to check on this cop. His name is Alex Gazarian, a.k.a. Gazalpur. But he kind of dropped the Gazarian, and he's using Gazalpur. He's the chief of police in Arvin. They said somebody gave me a packet of his record and stuff like that. Apparently, Alex Gazarian was fired from Palos Verdes Estates Police Department for stealing money. He was arrested and he was convicted.
Oh, shit.
But apparently, if you're a cop and that kind of stuff happens, they allow you to become a reserve officer, go on this probationary period. And when you show good behavior, you're able to come back and resubmit your plea to not guilty, and they'll pretty much wipe your record clean.
No shit.
Why the people don't have that luxury, but cops do?
That's fucking insane, man.
Right.
Yeah,
so he goes. Alex Gazarian goes to work in another area in Kern County.
Before he came here to Arvin.
Yes. So he goes to work in Maricopa.
Oh,
right?
okay. Yeah, I know.
He goes to Maricopa and he becomes a reserve officer there. It's very small. I think it's just him and the chief. Well, apparently they're pulling, and they have some reserve officers there. So and he's also a reserve officer there. So they're pulling everybody over that's driving through the town. Nobody wants to go through there no more. So they're just driving around Maricopa.
And all because this person is right there.
Right, because these cops are pulling everybody over, giving tickets, like overly doing it. And so the businesses are losing business, okay? And Come to find out, they're getting a kickback from the tow truck company.
Oh, wow.
So they do a grand jury report. It comes out and finds that Maricopa Police Department is doing some dirty work. And so they disbanded that department, right? Alex leaves with his hands clean, and it makes, I guess, the chief look bad, but he just leaves with his hands clean, right? He goes to Arvin. He becomes
Starts a whole new life over there.
Yeah, he becomes a reserve officer over there, and he starts to weasel his way up. And he, in a matter of time, he becomes chief of police. But now he's using his name, Gazalpur. Changed his name.
Switches it up, yeah.
And so all of this information was sent to me. Apparently, there's people that when he became chief of police, he started firing everybody that wasn't aligned with him. And now, if you wonder how corruption boils and rises to the top, and you know how they say, oh, if you don't like police, then why don't you become a cop and change it from the inside? Well, eventually you're going to get pushed out by people like this, right? So Alex Gazarian, a.k.a. Gazalpur, now, I go to a city council meeting, and I confront him.
So you see him right there face to face, okay?
And I say, you mind if I get your name and badge number? And he says, Alex Gazalpur. I said, that's funny. I have reports right here saying that you used to go by a different last name, Gazarian. And he says, well, that's my last name as well. It's Gazarian Gazalpur. And I was like, yeah, but that's not what you told me when I asked.
Yeah.
And so I also went up to go speak at the meeting. I exposed who he was.
Right there in front of everybody. It takes balls to do that, but yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, man. My voice, I'm used to getting in front of the cops, and I don't get nervous anymore. But I'm not used to speaking at city council.
That's a different situation.
Right, so I was still a little nervous.
Yeah, of course.
I have a really good friend. His name is Adis, and shout out to my friend Adis. And I'm actually a guest host on his Rumble channel called Everything Is a Lie. Damn it.
Oh, hell yeah.
And very first time I was talking to him on the phone, I was like, yeah, man, my first time recording a couple of my first videos, you're going to hear my voice. I was kind of a coward, you can tell. And he's like, nah, man, that's not cowardice. When you're afraid to do something, you still do it.
That is true.
That's bravery. That's whatever. So I was like, man, thank you, bro. Like, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And so same thing at the city council meeting. I went and spoke. And then afterwards, I spoke to Alex outside, and he shook my hand. And he was like, I'd love to get you in here and train my officers on the First Amendment, because I did speak about that. And he says, do you have a business and we can pay you? And people already told me, watch out for him. He's going to try to pay you off.
Well, okay, that's where I was gonna go. But let's just go back just a little bit. You're up there now, right? There's how many people in that building?
It was packed that day.
It was packed. So over 100 then, right? So you're up there on stage. You know what you want to say already, but it's kind of hard when you're up there on stage. You have all eyes on you. The words are probably going to not come out at the moment, but you say what it is.
Right.
And one thing is being up there on stage and you talking to the people about anything. That's already difficult, but now you're trying to out this dude right here then, right? And he's sitting right there. So, dude, like, you were nervous?
I was a little nervous, but, I went to go speak to him outside, and we were face to face.
After the fact that he
Right.
laid out his whole...
Yeah,
okay.
And it was crazy because I started recording, and I started talking to the officers inside. And same thing, I asked them if they know the First Amendment. They didn't know it,
I'm fucking shocked, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, fuck.
Right.
So I got a question.
Yeah.
So when you was in there, I guess calling them out, was you getting type of like feedback from other people or people inside there?
I can hear people sighing, like, wow, like, whoa, like what? You can kind of hear
That's
people
crazy
a little
news,
bit.
Yeah.
And even the city council members, like, you could see their faces kind of looking at each other like, holy shit,
Mm-hmm.
And what happened was, if you look at try to find him online and see, what he'd been arrested, convicted for and stuff like that, couldn't really find it. But I had that information, and it seems like they allow him to sweep it under the rug. And it seemed like he would change his name so that he can hide from that. And, when I went outside to talk to him, he was like, offering me money to come in and train his officers, on the First Amendment. And I was like, I'll come in, I'll take your money, bro, but I'm still going to hold you accountable.
How is that interaction? You go up to him, he goes up to you.
Yeah, he was already standing outside when I went out there.
So you think he already knew? Hey,
yeah.
I gotta shut this dude down over here because it's not looking too good.
Right.
I mean, obviously, right?
Yeah, and
offering you a job too and all that.
And
shit.
the people already told me, watch out for him.
Yeah, so you already knew already.
He's gonna try to buy you off.
So people already know about this shit.
And so he was like a bowling ball, and the city workers there, the public officials there, were like the bowling pins.
Oh man!
If you didn't align yourself with him, your ass is about to get fired. And we're talking about police sergeants. We're talking about people in code enforcement. And when the public officials there tried to create this, it's like a list where they all sign their name and show that he's like not fit to be in that position. I forget what it's called. A letter of no confidence.
Oh. Okay.
Right? So some of his co-workers signed a letter of no confidence.
His co-workers?
His co-workers,
All right.
people that work for the city.
Yeah.
Well, that never went nowhere. And come to find out that pretty much everybody there, half of them I think were fired, and the other half were being investigated.
Fuck, man.
So he started going after.
Oh, yeah. The list was already there, signatures and everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Fuck.
they couldn't get rid of him, and it just seemed like he was just a powerful, mean-ass dude willing to fire people. And, they also had the city attorney overcharging people of Arvin. And so through the work and the videos that we did, we were putting the pressure on. And I was putting the pressure on the city council members and letting the people know of Arvin what's going on. So they started putting the pressure on. Eventually, the city attorney was gone. And now he's the city attorney in McFarland. McFarland, watch out.
McFarland. Wow. So he's on the move again.
McFarland soon, yeah.
On the move again.
Yes, sir.
So as soon as they figure him out, it's kind of like a thing that he keeps doing. He goes from fucking city to city and changing his name.
Yeah.
But at least we know that he's in McFarland now.
Right.
And for the people that are watching that are not from Bakersfield, that's the next town down, Arvin. Yep. McFarland is not that far from here too.
No, it's not.
So that's how these people can just go ahead and switch up their names, go to another and start the whole fucking thing again.
Right.
Messing up our fucking towns and shit,
So Alex Gazarian, a.k.a. Gazalpour, his contract was coming up. And we continue to put the pressure on, man. And I got a really good video of me going to Arvin Police Department asking for Alex. And he wasn't there. And I talked to a Sergeant Hernandez. And he didn't know the First Amendment. And he even said on camera, he's like, well, I guess I'm just a failure. And I was like, let me help you with that, bro. That's a really good video.
Yeah.
And he, from my understanding, he had already had a DUI, but he was friends with Alex from a different town, and Alex brought him on over here.
Oh, shit.
So he's just hiring
the cycle continues.
Hiring bad cops and hiring his friends and shit like that. And so when Alex's contract was up, they decided, the city manager, which I believe we put the pressure on him, to not renew Alex's contract. So Alex, the chief of police, is out of there as well. Vámonos pa' fuera. And,
hell yeah.
And so that's the kind of work that I believe that the people should be doing. When there's stuff like that, go to your city council meetings, demand accountability, highlight what's going on, put it on your channels, put the pressure. One of the things that I think we do differently than mainstream media news is, when we highlight videos and stories, we put the where to go complain. We put email addresses. We put phone numbers on screen in the descriptions.
Yep.
We want people to call. We want people to send emails. That's why I don't call them subscribers. That's why I call them supporters.
Yeah.
And when you have 600,000 supporters, some of them are willing to call and put the pressure on.
Yeah.
It becomes like a holy shit moment for them. Like, damn. And I think we put Facebook links as well, so their Facebook channels will get blasted.
Hell yeah.
And we want the people to, we want the public officials to have some accountability for their actions. Hell yeah. And I don't believe mainstream media does that.
Yeah, they don't. They just say the news and that's it.
Sometimes they do really good news and segments and stuff like that, but they don't say, hey, man, this is the number if you'd like to redress your grievances, which is in the First Amendment.
Like, you have to make it easy for your viewers to make it, dude, push a button and let's go. You have to make it that easy nowadays. Because a lot of us have gone through situations where we didn't know that our rights were violated.
Right.
We get pulled over. Shit, man, that's happened to me. You know what I mean? I had a story when I lived in Palmdale. I wasn't the driver. I was the passenger. And the chick I was with, she gets pulled over. But the cops come to my side. And they say, hey, we need you to get out of the car. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm not even driving. Like, I'm the passenger.
Yeah.
Same situation as some of your videos. It's like, hey, you fit the description. The same old bullshit. You fit the description.
Right.
Come out, and they're fucking gun ready over there. That was during that time in Palmdale. I get out because I could say, hey, do you, like, what is the fucking description? A bald guy, what the fuck? There's a lot of us here, but they make you get out. I try to make it easy. I'm not going to start any issues, you know what I mean? But it could go the wrong way.
Right.
But to me, it was weird. I've been pulled over with my brother, too, for zero reason. Get out of the car. This was in Pacoima when we lived over there. Get out of the car. They put us in the fucking sidewalk on our knees.
Yeah.
Everybody's just watching. At the whole time, we're like, for what?
Yeah.
They searched the car. They found nothing. All right, man, y'all can go. But just the fact that you're violated that way, it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And this happens on a daily basis to people.
Yeah. So there's a law called Pennsylvania Supreme Court case law, Pennsylvania versus Mims, where if cops have this element of officer safety, right, where they feel like they're in danger. Let's say side of the freeway, cars are passing by, multiple people in the car, and the car has tinted windows. They can't see inside. There has to be some element of officer safety being in jeopardy in order to use Pennsylvania versus Mims and get people out of the car. The problem with that is cops abuse that.
Yeah,
often.
they can say anything.
Right.
Yeah.
And so they abuse, just like they would abuse, I smell weed. They abuse a lot of different things. And that's why laws come out now where it's like cops cannot just use that, I smell weed. And other laws come out that say, for instance, cops cannot extend, the duration of the traffic stop. If it's for a traffic ticket, they have to give you the traffic ticket and allow you to leave, unless there's like unless they like your eyes are bloodshot red or they do smell alcohol or something.
You're a little bit
that.
out of it type shit.
Right.
Yeah.
But then even when cops meet that requirement and give you the ticket, they're supposed to allow you to leave, but then they'll ask you another question. And if you answer that other question, that means now they can extend the traffic stop. So it's best not to answer any questions. Things like that, like they will abuse things. They will go around things whenever they get a chance. And I think the cops will coerce people to make you believe that you have to give up your rights. You have to give up ID as a passenger. If you're a passenger and the driver got stopped for a traffic infraction, you don't have to identify as a passenger. Unless there's like a bank robbery or the entire car is in some kind of felony some investigation.
That's different,
It's different. But there's a lot of things that people don't know. And that's why it's important that we know what our rights are.
Exactly. Because some of us get scared too because we don't even know what the fuck, right? It could be as easy as, hey, man, okay, well, here's my driver's license type shit. And then that turns into something else, right? Yeah. Just recently, we go to work every now and then, like at 2 a.m., right? So I'm going to work, man. I got my windows tinted. Fucking cop comes from the other side of the street, flashes this big-ass beam in my face. And I'm like, whoa, what the fuck, right? It's 2 a.m, like, whoa. Pulls me over. Where are you going? And I said, I'm going to work. Like, what's the problem, sir? I'm being respectful. Right. And he's like, well, you fit the description, the same shit as always. And I'm like, bro, I'm going to work, man. He's like, well, can I see your license, register, all that shit? Do you have any warrants? I don't have anything, man, but here you go, man. Fuck, man, you can see me. I'm in my uniform. I'm going to work. But it's just the same thing. Now, I do have the right to say no, right? If I know my laws, my rights, I could say no.
Well, if you're operating the vehicle and you do have tinted windows and if cops have a legitimate reason to pull you over, tinted windows.
Because that's usually the excuse.
Yeah.
Tinted windows, your plates are not where they should be.
Right.
Whatever.
Right.
There's
Shit
always
like that,
something,
Then it's probably best that you listen. You know what I mean? Because they will,
it could get worse.
They'll break your window if they gotta pull you out by force, and
now it turns into something else now.
Right. Yeah.
So on all the situations that I've had, because I've had many, a lot of them are for tinted windows. I'm like, all right, here you go. Here's my ID. whatever the fuck, just do what you have to do type shit. And let's be honest, because I know I'm not doing anything illegal. If it's a fix-it ticket, okay, man, it's legit. Let's just move on. But not everybody has it as good as I have. I've seen situations. You have videos here. Perfect example. You have a video out there, a recent video where you have a couple that was sleeping in their car. It was a husband and a wife.
Right.
And we don't find out till later on, but the phone call, right? I love the way that it was edited to the video, because you get right into it. The female cop is like, hey, man, we got a call for a suspicious car, right? That's where the language changed, right? We ended up finding out later on in your video where you actually show the call, it was a welfare check. So how do we go from welfare check to the cop saying, hey, we got a suspicious vehicle? Because when you say suspicious vehicle, that could fucking mean anything.
Right.
Even the couple was like, what are we doing? Like, we're parked in a legal place.
Right.
We're sleeping. They came banging on the door. And when she said it was suspicious, yeah, they could pull a gun out and just start getting crazy. You know what I mean? Because, again, the way that you word things. Now, this was a cop that didn't know what the fuck was going on.
Right.
But that can very easily escalate. And luckily for that couple, they seem to know their rights.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. And they still took the guy to jail.
And they still took for what? I still don't know why they took him. They said for resisting arrest, right? But what did he do? Like the wife was like, that's a physical act.
Right.
I'm standing here with this kitty cat on my arm. And she didn't know that they took her husband until the very end. She's like, well, where's my husband?
Yeah.
And I guess so that they can be, hey man, we're cool cops. We're allowing you to leave. We're giving you. What the fuck? You still took my husband. Like, and for what?
Yeah.
And they looked like they weren't escalating anything. You know, it got later on, you know, the lady's temper got a little, you know, tested because they weren't doing anything. Right. And they knew how to defend themselves. Right. But a lot of us don't.
Right. So those charges were eventually dropped.
Oh, were they? Okay.
Yeah. And that video is a perfect example of what we're talking about. Yeah. For instance, the neighborhood. Right, what I was talking about, nice neighborhood.
Okay, yeah.
If you go knock on the doors in the nice neighborhoods, and let's say you take a survey and you start asking them, when was the last time you were harassed by police or given a ticket, right? Most of the folks in those nice neighborhoods are going to say, 20 years, man. It's been a long time. Like, oh, I've never gotten a ticket. Things like that, right?
Yeah.
You go knocking in the hood and ask the people, when was the last time you got a ticket or harassed by police? Last night, 5 minutes. They just impounded my car, you know? Yeah. Broken window policing in the hoods, and you know, and in the nice neighborhoods, they don't really mess with the people like that. So when cops, like I was saying, those to those cops and those people, they're considered undesirables. Go do a welfare check on them. They're sleeping in their car. We don't recognize the car. They're suspicious, right?
Yeah.
So the cops went over there, violated his Fourth Amendment rights, you know, and that's exactly what we were talking about at the beginning of the show. Is cops overstepping those boundaries. You know, cops didn't know what the people's rights were. The people did know what their rights were. And they obviously watched channels like mine. That couple reached out to me and asked me to share that video.
Oh, cool.
And so a lot of folks that do watch my videos, binge watch these videos, you'll learn some shit.
You're gonna learn. Yes. Yeah, that's how I learned the amendments. I was like, what? Fuck, this is crazy right here. Yeah.
And so a lot of people, they watch like our videos religiously. You know, video after video after video, breaking down these situations, these encounters, and seeing what cops did wrong. We try to point that out, seeing what the people can do, you know, to stand on their rights. You know, I say this a lot. When you give up your rights, you make it hard for the next person and everybody else.
Yes.
When you stand on your rights and you stand on freedom, then you make it easier for everybody else because you're putting the cop in check. You're making sure that the cop understands that there are boundaries, you know, and they're not supposed to cross these boundaries. You know, the cops are briefed every day. Oh, get their ID. Just get as many criminals off the streets as possible.
You played some of that audio too on your channel, which I was like, oh shit, these fools are on a fucking mission. Yeah. So go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Just run them through the ringer. You know, run the people through the ringer.
Fucking crazy, man.
It's like they wanted that guy's ID. They wanted his identification, you know, and the cops, because when they do things like that, they're not really held personally accountable. So unless cops are paying out lawsuits out of their pockets, You think they give a shit about lawsuits?
Yeah.
Nope.
Like, you know who pays for those lawsuits?
We do.
Yeah, we
you
do.
and I, we do,
Oh, yeah.
right?
With citizens.
We also pay for their attorneys.
Yep.
Okay, we have to pay for our own attorneys because
Yep.
we can't even afford them. We have to pay for the lawsuits when they make mistakes, and then they
Yep.
have umbrellas of protection. You know, internal investigations, police unions. They have qualified immunity, things like that. You know, as long as a cop says they're
Qualified
doing
immunity, huh?
as long as they
Fuck.
say that they're doing their job in good faith, then they'll get off on a personal, you know,
That's crazy.
thing. And it's hard to get bad cops fired.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
because they want to keep the image, like I said, of the department pristine.
It's a fucking click, is what it
Yeah.
is.
And I don't know if you guys know this, but if a cop gets fired, he can appeal. And
Yeah.
if he loses that appeal, he can appeal
Hit
again.
Yeah.
And so, how many chances do these bad cops get? And a lot of these
Yeah.
cops, they get fired, they end up suing.
Yep.
And when cops sue, unlike you and I who sue, unless we get brutalized and arms broken and shot and this and that, and it's on camera and stuff like that, we're not going to get anything.
Yeah.
But an example of a female cop from Tennessee who slept with half of the department. She was married.
Oh, yeah. I
She
know
was
exactly who you're talking about. Yeah.
You guys seen all the memes?
Oh, yeah,
Did
yeah.
you guys know that she won $500,000 in a lawsuit?
She did.
What?
Okay, I didn't see the results,
You see
but
what
yeah.
I'm saying? Like they sue, and when cops get fired, they sue and win. So you mean to tell me she slept around, cheated on her husband, she did something that she shouldn't have done, and she got $500,000? Another cops are suing departments over and over and over again. Another female cop was caught sleeping with another cop in the police cruiser in uniform. They got caught.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of those. Yeah.
But she ended up getting fired, and she sued and won I think $5 million because she said that she was treated different than the male cops before her, and so they gave her a lot of money. And so the most pettiest bullshit the cops are suing when they get fired, they're winning. Now let me ask you guys this: if you're cops and you'd rather win millions of dollars instead of putting your life on the line, supposedly, right? Because we always hear about officer safety, but we don't hear about public safety.
Nope.
Yeah,
We hear
that's
cops
true.
talking about, I just want to go home at the end of the day. But we don't hear cops talking about, I can't wait to put my life on the line to save someone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love that you say that on your videos
Right,
too, because
yeah.
hey, that's some truth shit right there.
It
Yeah.
is, you know, and so you know, cops are suing and they're getting that much money, and I think we have a big problem there. It's a pattern that I'm recognizing, and it seems like these are isolated incidents, but when you tend to see these things in pattern recognition, then you're like, fuck, we got a problem.
Oh yeah.
You know, and it's like these are things that I do and I focus on, and that's why I'm able to point some of these things out.
I love that right there. Yeah, for real.
I did a podcast interview with Detective Matt Thornton. He
right.
goes viral and stuff like that. He's pretty big on TikTok and Instagram and stuff, on YouTube as well. And he's been supporting my work from the very beginning. You know, he's
dope
seen
right
me
there, yeah.
progress and stuff like that. And we do actually have cops that actually do support our work. Cops
right.
that have been retired, cops that are still on the force. I have cops emailing me, reaching out to me. They see the importance in what I do and what we do, and you know, I hope that more folks get inspired from this podcast, from future podcasts, or just videos that you guys see. You know, record police, even if it's from a distance. You know,
Yeah.
send your stuff to Kern County Activities. Shout out to them. Send your stuff
shout out to him,
to myself, recordpolicenow@gmail.com. Send us your videos, especially if you're from Bakersfield and you have.
Oh hell yeah, because we live here. Shit.
Yeah. So in California, you're not allowed to get body cam footage unless you're part of that incident. Right?
Ah, that's interesting.
We've
Okay.
done numerous records requests, and they don't want to release body cam footage like that.
Wow.
So you have to be the person
Right.
involved in that situation.
Somehow
okay.
involved in that. So if you're from Bakersfield and you have body cam footage, if your lawyer has body cam footage, demand it from your lawyer. They have to give it to you. Send it to me. If you have cops mistreating you, send it to me. And not just from Bakersfield, but all of California. You can get body cam footage to the incidents that you're involved in. Send it to me.
That's fucking
We'll
interesting.
we'll
right
highlight
there,
these
yeah.
cops, and we'll show
Yeah.
exactly how they behave.
Hell
We'll
yeah.
show it in a pattern. so
there
we
you
could
go.
start getting rid of the bad cops in your department.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. That's what we need, man.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Since you've been doing this, have you seen like changes like from good cops, turning into bad cops? Anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, I've encountered cops who have been professional before and then later on try to violate my rights.
Mm-hmm.
Then I've had cops before who have tried to violate my rights, who later on see my videos, and then, vice versa. Now they respect me, shake my hand, fist bump, whatever. Seems like a lot of the rookies now, they all know who I am. They're like, hey, what's up, David? Or, hey, what's up, San Joaquin? And now it seems like the younger officers are learning the First Amendment, from my channel, from my work. And that's kind of what we want to see.
Yeah,
man.
they don't want to get put on blast, but it's a good something good for them to know
Yeah.
and shit.
Right,
So
no
we're
doubt.
slowly seeing a change, right?
Right,
Which
right,
is good.
right.
Fuck, any step forward is a good fucking thing,
Right,
you know?
right, yeah.
Hell yeah. So there's two things that I want to ask, okay? So check out San Joaquin Valley Transparency. That's the YouTube channel. Everything that we're talking about right here, we're just giving you a preview of. Check out the YouTube channel. Believe me, you're going to be hooked on this video. It's crazy because this is the kind of shit that is happening in our neighborhoods. We see this shit every day, man, but a lot of it doesn't get highlighted like it is on this channel. So go ahead and check it out. Let's talk about cops coming into your house without a warrant, because you do highlight that as well.
Right. I just recommend never opening your door.
That's what we said earlier when we were talking.
That's it.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? It's best. I've had that happen over here.
Right, right.
I'm like, dude, I'm not doing anything
Right.
bad,
Yeah,
So
it's best to not, unless they have a warrant, unless they slide it under the door, show it to you on through the window or the peephole, whatever.
the fucking ring camera.
Don't open on the ring camera, especially. Yeah. Do not open your doors.
Yeah.
We've had if you open your door, cops will stick their foot in the door.
Bam! I noticed that. Yeah.
And we're seeing a lot of that stuff as well.
Yeah.
And there's things that a lot of people don't know. A lot of people feel like they have to, and that becomes your bad, man. If you're listening to this podcast and you still just give up your rights freely like that, then you probably fucking deserve it. I hate to say it. But at this point,
Yeah, you should know.
Look, man, this is America. America's supposed to run on our freedoms. When they signed the Constitution, there's a famous thing that this woman asked Benjamin Franklin, so what kind of government did you give us? And he said, a republic, if you can keep it. Basically what that means is we are the keepers of the Constitution, we the people. We're the ones that are supposed to hold that document in front of them and say, hold on, you are limited to what you can do, to the power that you have. When we just give up our power and we don't know exactly how strong we are, the power that we do have, then we have none at all.
Yeah. You're right about that. You're right. I do have, it's funny because I have footage of cops outside this fucking studio.
Yeah.
There was like 6 deep. One of them had a big ass fucking stick, like a kendo stick.
Wow.
And I'm looking at the cameras out there. I said, fuck that. I'm not opening.
crazy,
I'm not
yeah.
home. But for what, right? For what? So let's say they're over here. If they don't have a warrant, you do have the right to ask for a warrant, right?
Right.
And you could say, hey, I'm not going to open. Please get a warrant.
Right.
Be polite about it. Fuck it, right?
And get off the property.
Oh, okay, yeah. You could be on the sidewalk.
Right,
I can't do
right,
shit
right,
there,
right,
but
right,
get
right,
off
right.
my fucking
Yeah,
lawn type
that's
shit.
right,
Yeah.
yeah.
But do you feel like sometimes we ourselves escalate the situation? You know what I mean? Because
Right.
do we need to yell at people like this? I understand you're upset. Hey, man, what are you doing on my property? Yeah.
Right.
But do we need to start cursing, or do we need to start, and escalate the situation more than what it is? It's already bad enough already.
Right.
Can we just be like, hey, you know what? Can you please give me a warrant?
I think both are necessary.
Okay.
I think, for one, we can be respectful. Plus, it helps out in court if it ever goes there. But we can also cuss them out and talk to them, be stern with them, because they also need to
Put your foot down.
They
type
also
shit,
need
yeah.
to know, the sternness of the people. They also
That's
need
true.
to know we mean fucking business.
That's
You know what I
true.
mean? They also need to know that if you believe in God, God first, and then the people, and then the government.
Yeah.
They need to understand where they stand.
Yeah.
We the people overstand them, and that's why I don't like when mainstream media calls them the authorities.
Ah, okay.
Who are they the authorities of?
Yeah,
you?
yeah.
Me? I am my authority.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
if a cop comes and tells you to put your pants on left leg first, people are they're gonna be like, no, man, I'm gonna put them on the right side first.
I'm gonna look at you crazy.
Yeah. And so same thing, like cops telling us to sit on the ground. We're not dogs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For officer safety, they're extending this presumed authority that they have. If we don't put presumed authority in check right away, it turns into unbridled power. And we cannot continue to give cops unbridled power. You know what they say? Without cops, politicians would just be people with bad ideas. They are the enforcers. They are the ones that are going to come and take your business away if you don't wear the mask. They're the ones that are going to come and take your guns away. They're the ones that are going to come and take your rights away whenever the political pendulum swings to the left or the right. Because let's not forget, it's a Hegelian dialectic. One side has to win for a while and the other side has to win for a while so that they can blame the voters and say, it's your fault. No, it's your fault. You voted that guy in, you're a piece of shit. No, you voted that guy in, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And the left hates the right hates the left. And I really don't like to talk about politics, but I understand what's happening. Yeah. Trump says it all the time. Oh, the Democrats, and they're crazy, and they're crazy. And then you got the Democrats saying, we need to vote all Republicans out of office. And it's a continued divide. The people are not Democrats and Republicans. Those terms are reserved for these politicians. And we can have a liberal mindset and have conservative values at the same time. They're acting like we can only have one or the other.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? In reality,
Yeah.
When you label yourself like that, you kind of make half of the other America hate you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Automatically, you create a 50% enemy, or you know what I'm saying? It's
that's like a whole other fucking situation right there. Yeah.
Right. And that's why I think it's important to truly understand what our rights are, because then you'll truly understand politics and how they work.
Yeah.
And it's a divide, man. They don't want us being neighborly.
Oh, no.
They want us to rat on our neighbors. They want us to, the politics will destroy families from the inside, households, homes. Brother and sister will fight and disagree and shit like that. And it's just like, instead of truly holding government accountable where it needs to be, and grab that hammer out of their hand and see and put the power back into the hands of the people, just like Rage Against the Machine said.
Oh yeah,
we need to take the power back.
My favorite bands,
you know what I'm saying, right?
For real.
And that's how you do it. That's how you take the power back. You know your rights. You stand on liberty, and you hold government accountable. And it does. And in my work, I have support from both sides of the political spectrum. I speak to the who is who. I've been on David Nino Rodriguez podcast, who's a championship heavyweight boxer. He's still a Trump supporter. I still talk to him. I talk to Mr. Checkpoint, who leans more left. I talk to a lot of people. I also, a good friend of mine is, shout out to Jason Bassler, Police to Police, the Free Thought Project. He's the original Police to Police guy. Like, I've learned a lot from him. I learned a lot about the flock camera systems and what they're doing and where they're going and how they're expanding, and the contracts that are involved in all of this, the mass surveillance state. Like, I'm seeing it all happen, before it happens.
That's fucking crazy. So all this is already pre-planned type shit.
Yes, they're 10 steps ahead of us.
Yeah,
unless we catch up, unless we understand what's happening, everything is just going to happen without us even trying to fucking put a stop to it. And that's where we're at today.
So I'm glad that you have a channel like this, on social media and on YouTube. Have you, before you started doing the channel, right? Did you ever deal with a situation where you were put in a situation with a cop like that?
Yeah, I mean, I've dealt with cops. I hate to bring this up, but even my ex, she used to be with the cop, and he would harass me. He would pull me over, when I would pick up my kids, and this is like many years ago and stuff like that. And he was fucking harassing me, and I'm just like, how the fuck can he get away with this shit? I'd go make a complaint, and he would go nowhere. And
man, that's fucking frustrating itself right there.
Yeah, and I've seen cops, but at the same time, man, I've seen cops, catch me with shit and let me get away with it. And just, it goes both ways, I guess.
Yeah.
But I kind of seen things, from a outside the box type of thinking. I've seen people holding cops accountable and recording them, and I'm just like, I think Bakersfield needs it.
Yeah,
and I think that's kind of why I wanted to get involved in all of this stuff, and I wanted the cops in Bakersfield to think somebody's there recording when they're out there in public. So
you can stop some of the bullshit. You know what I mean? Yeah. If you got them scared already watching over their shoulder, then hey, maybe we should fucking tone the shit down a little bit. Because you're right about that, and we need that. And I'm glad that you're expanding to other cities too, because this shit happens everywhere, man.
It does.
It's fucking crazy, huh?
Yeah. Just recently, a guy in Denver, he's been recording cops as well, and Denver police already knows who he is. But people were trying to jump him, and he ended up shooting one of the guys, and the cops arrived on scene and shot him 9 times. He survived, and we're seeing a lot of auditors, cop watchers getting arrested, and it's everywhere. It's, you would think 2026 by now they would train cops to know what our rights are, but we keep seeing video after video after video every single day.
It's
cops
crazy.
Getting it wrong, just like the traffic stop that I just showed you. That's a recent video. Why are cops still getting it wrong? And
that's a major change that needs to happen.
Yeah, and it's because, and you know why? It's because we the people have allowed it. That's why. We let that presumed authority turn into unbridled power, and that's why.
And I think, like I said, that's why your channel is very important, man, because we need to get knowledgeable in this shit. You know what I mean? And it's not difficult, right? And you're watching this. I love your videos because, once again, you're schooling us on what's going on. It's not just you posting a video that somebody sent to you and we just leave it up to us. No, you're explaining the situation. You're explaining the rights. You're out there actually fucking talking to these cops. And you know what I mean? And a lot of us don't have the balls to do that, but you're doing that tough work. And sometimes it comes at a cost to it. I'm sorry that, you had to be going through all that court bullshit, because I've had to do that shit too, and it can be frustrating. But again, somebody needs to do it. And I'm glad that there is somebody out here in town that is schooling us on our rights, because we do need it. We need to know this shit.
Yeah, and what's up, Bakersfield? Don't leave me out there by myself, man.
You guys I'm gonna join you.
Join in on the movement, man. Even if you're from a distance, if you see cops, traffic stop, whatever. Even if you have to sit in your car and record, I'll give a couple of quick tips, man. When you're recording, don't look at them in their face. Look at them through the camera. First of all, you're not going to be recording his crotch on accident while you're looking at his face. Secondly, they're going to know they're not just talking to you. They're going to know that they're talking to whatever they decide to do. They're going to be talking to the people on camera.
I love that you're
even
saying
the judge. If the cop's starting to violate your rights, just say, "Hey, Your Honor, look what this cop is doing," because that video can be played in court.
Oh, so they do. They will allow that.
Yeah, no doubt.
So you do have to let them know that you're recording.
You don't have to let them know you're recording.
Oh, okay.
No. You can actually. Here's what a lot of people don't understand is you can record government even without them knowing, secretly.
Okay.
That's why First Amendment audits took off, and it's so important because we started going into government installations. Now people want to record people eating and going to dispensaries and different shit. I don't do that personally, and people I think are kind of tarnishing what we do by doing private business type shit like this, and just fucking with people, the average Joe. To me, it's like I thought we wanted the people to respect the First Amendment and really care for it, not turn them off. Go hold government accountable. Go into your government installations. Do some record requests. Find out how much money they're getting, the budget, how much they're spending, the misappropriation of funds, the monopolies on contracts. People need a fair chance. We need to find out where our money is going. We can go into these installations and request records, and we can find things out, and we can record as well. I just went to Wasco the other day, and the lady's like, "Can you please not record me?" And I'm like, "I'm allowed to, man. I'm allowed to record and ask for the budget, and go get your supervisor." And
I hear that a lot on your videos where the people that are saying, "Hey, well, call your supervisor," pretty much, because we're not getting anywhere here.
Right.
So you do have the right to ask for that thing, right?
Sadly, a lot of the supervisors come and they're just as bad.
They come in with a temper already.
I mean, for the most part, they're supervisors for the reason. I learned this from my friend Blue from Cannabis Talk 101 when I was on his podcast. Is we're not supposed to be calling them sergeants, lieutenants, because those are military terms. We're not supposed to be at war with the people. And I was like, damn, bro, I didn't think about that.
So what do we supposed to call them then?
Assistant supervisor, manager, you know what I mean, babysitter, top babysitter, whatever. But if they want to call each other that's on them.
That's them.
We shouldn't really be doing that. We don't have to, and And it's just a lot of things that I've learned along the way, man. And,
yeah, I mean, once again, it does, dude. It takes balls to be out there and recording this. One of your recent videos, again, it says right, code enforcement threatens veteran before I arrived. Right. So this is the gentleman that you bought socks for and everything, right?
Right.
So
that was actually today. That was
this
morning,
today.
man. I went out this morning. I recorded. I ended up talking to the gentleman. I sat down with him for a little bit, and I asked him if he needed anything. He's just like, I need a shirt, and I need some socks. And the Ross was right behind me. I had $20 cash on me, and I was just like, you know what, man? I think $20 will do. Yeah. So I went, I bought him some socks, I bought him a shirt, came out to like 18 and change. I gave it to him. I felt good. I went home. I went home and I edited the video really quick, and then I posted it.
Yeah, I saw it.
And that was all today, man. That's all
one day.
Wow.
What a fucked up situation. A veteran, and he's fucking homeless right there. Yeah. That's fucking crazy. Somebody who fought, he was in, what did he say, Afghanistan? Is that what he said? Yeah. Fought, got the scars to fucking show it, and he's out there on the streets, man.
Yeah. And even the girl at Ross, man, I don't know if you heard her on the video, but even she said, like, it's sad that we're not taking care of our veterans more. And all that. Yeah, that's true.
So what happened with the cops? Because I didn't see the cop footage.
Yeah, I haven't posted all that yet.
Oh, okay.
But it does. All the cops that were on scene today, they were all respectful to me.
Okay.
Even the older code enforcement guy, he was respectful to me. They all identified, and I've had to deal with like code enforcement before, where they kind of dog me out, they ignore me, they don't want to identify. I went and spoke at their main office. I spoke to their supervisor. I was like, I think you need to talk to these guys, man. They're breaking policy. Go pull your policy out. Let's look at it. And he came out and he was like, yeah, you're right, man. They do have to identify if you ask them out.
Like asking them for their badge ID and everything, because some of them won't.
Right.
Or they'll just blah, blah, blah. They won't even tell you what it is, but especially when you're recording, because they don't want to be responsible for what the fuck they just did right now.
They're under policy to identify to the people. One of the things that I do, I don't have to always go up and middle finger up and cuss them out. Sometimes my goal is just to observe and then identify them. That Officer Lugo, the one who got in trouble for with the minor, reaching out to minor, whatever, he's actually been on my channel before.
Ah, okay.
You know what I mean? That's why I think it's important to identify them, get their faces, their names, and we have to truly see who we are. We are one of the people. You know what I mean? They lose, their freedoms for privileges. Yeah. That's why we are private. We don't have to identify if we haven't committed a crime, but they do, because they're under policy. So they lose some of their rights. Cops don't have free speech, because there's certain things that they can't say. They lose their rights for privileges, right? And a lot of people don't really know that. And that's why they have to wear their names. That's why they have to identify. And then there's cases out there like the famous Jeremy DeWitt, who's like a infamous police impersonator. There's people that have dressed as cops who have hurt women. You know what I'm saying?
It's fucking crazy.
And there's a reason why every police department has a policy for cops to identify. It's because we're supposed to know if they're real cops or not. So,
man, this is crazy right here. You got a lot of videos in here, man, and a lot of them are very educational. Like I said, we could wrap it up with the final question right here. What's the ultimate goal for your channel? What are you trying to teach the people here, or what is the goal for the whole thing that you're doing?
Empowerment, and I want to encourage people to hold their government accountable, ask questions, get records, record your interactions. You have that right. Not only do you have the right, you have the duty. Don't bitch and complain about what your politicians are doing without you even going out there and trying to hold them accountable.
I love that.
And that's been my goal: education, empowerment, and motivation, encouragement. And that's it.
I love that right there, man. David, thank you for coming on the show. This was very educational for me, myself, and I'm pretty sure for everybody here. You know what I mean? I love and I support what you're doing. This is fucking really important for our city over here, and not just here, for every city where you're going as well, because we see this kind of shit everywhere. Right. And you're right, we have to put a stop to this shit.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Where can we find you at on social media? And go ahead and plug the YouTube channel.
Okay, so my main channel, San Joaquin Valley Transparency on YouTube. I have over 600,000 supporters. On Instagram, official San Joaquin with _ in between. I also have a website, recordthepolice.tv. There are free videos on there, and can also support me by subscribing $5 a month.
Yeah.
You know, and you know,
That goes a long way.
Yeah, it goes a long way, no doubt. And you know, we've been demonetized numerous times on different platforms, and so your donations do help as well. It keeps us on the road, keeps the gas, especially right now, right?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
But yeah, man, you know, San Joaquin Valley Transparency is where you'll find me the most on YouTube. Mostly all my work is on there. So.
I love that right there. So go ahead and show some support, man. If you got $1, you know what I mean, that goes a long way. You know what I mean? If all of us chip in $1, man, that dude. Let's support these channels over here, because this is fucking, we need this. We need, if we want to see a change in our city, like David said, man, we got to put our foot down, man. We got to know our rights. You know what I mean? And once again, check out the YouTube channel. Go ahead and subscribe. David, thank you very much for coming on the show again, man. It was a pleasure to have you over here.
Thank you guys for having me on.
Oh, hell yeah, hell yeah.
Shout out to everybody in Bakersfield.
For real. And we'll catch you guys on the next one, man. See ya.